Change and continuity in East Coast trade with settlements inland. Let's begin with Great Zimbabwe, an African kingdom. At the same time as the kingdom of Mapungubwe in about 1270 AD, a new and even greater town was built to the north in what is now the country of Zimbabwe. This town is known today as Great Zimbabwe. The rulers of Great Zimbabwe took over and developed the royal culture of Mapungubwe. The rulers of Great Zimbabwe also took control of the trade between Mapungubwe and the coast. Now let's look at the buildings of Great Zimbabwe. The high stone walls on the Great Zimbabwe Hill were built after the 1200 AD. As the power of the rulers grew, the stone walls were enlarged. New religious spaces were created and higher walls were built to surround the older ones. In about 1300 AD, the kings built a completely new stone-walled enclosure on the valley floor. This is known as the Great Enclosure. Inside were the living spaces of the rulers and their special ritual places. At the entrance of the Great Enclosure, there were tall carvings of sacred animals that might have represented the ancestors of the ruling families. Marco Polo, a European explorer in Asia. Now, who was Marco Polo? Marco Polo was an Italian trader from the town of Venice in Italy. He was one of the first Europeans to travel on horseback and on foot across Asia to China, India, and back. The journey took him 24 years from 1271 to 1295. He visited the great Chinese rulers Kublai Khan, where he was impressed by the riches, including gold and ivory from Africa. In a book that he wrote about his travels, he described the rich silk cloth, fine porcelain, poetry, and other goods produced in China and India. His book was read by kings and traders across Europe. The first copies of the book had to be written by hand because there was no printing in Europe at the time. He inspired thousands of traders to follow in his footsteps. Another Italian, Christopher Columbus, read the book. In 1492, he set off across in the Atlantic Ocean to see if he could find a sea route to China, sailing west. The land route went eastwards and had become very dangerous. He never reached Asia. Instead, he was the first European to discover America.